There's an interview, a video interview actually at that. It's pretty lengthy. It's about 18 minutes long, covers a bunch of different topics. Basically, there's a part specifically I want to talk about which has to do with stock and different things like that. And this is Nintendo of America's president, Doug Bowser, who was in an interview with CNBC, and he was, kind of asked, about stock, and the interviewer was asking, like, is this going to be sort of like another, Wii situation or PS5 even, where, there was just like hard to get stock, like any kind of units to people that wanted some for months and months and months. And no, it seems like, they've really worked ahead of time to kind of stockpile Nintendo Switch 2 units, so they have a really, really good amount. And we heard this, by the way, like even like months before the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, or I can't remember, weeks, whatever it was. Nintendo kind of mentioned something about this, that they're stocking up so there's enough stockpile. But it's also worth noting that, while Nintendo didn't share any kind of specifics or whatever, Doug Bowser did say that there are already units stocked up in the US. There's already units that have touched down in the US. They're already there, kind of stocked up, ready to go for launch day, and that's still like 2 months away. So they're already shipping these things out, and again, there's already some within the United States itself. This is basically what Doug Bowser said in this interview. I'll give you sort of like the quote. Just kind of the tidbits, if you will. So they've been working hard to stockpile enough units for the platform's global launch. What Doug Bowser said is that they've had some time to build up inventory on a global basis, and he says that we really hope that we can meet demand at launch, right? He says we hope because, of course, they don't know how much demand is necessarily going to be there until it's there, until like, people actually start pre-ordering and buying this thing and whatnot. So, they're not going to really know that until June 5th actually rolls around. Go Nintendo, they said, in other words, you should have a good chance of snagging the system for launch, but none of us will feel 100% safe until we have our pre-order secured, which is true. So it sounds like it's definitely going to be more stock, I would assume, than previous consoles, at least for Nintendo consoles. It sounds like there's probably more than what Nintendo Switch may have had, and then Nintendo Switch I don't think struggled too hard with stock. I was able to get a pre-order pretty easily, if I recall correctly. PS5, on the other hand, that was a nightmare. I got one, thankfully, but a lot of people were not able to even buy one for months. It was bad. It was really bad. So this could go either way, but it sounds like everything's good. Nintendo's really making sure that they're stockpiling units, and they kind of really plan this ahead of time to make sure that they do have a lot of units available. They kind of anticipated, the demand potentially. So we'll see how this kind of plays out.